Your soulmate's final message was meant for you. Prepare to cry, my beloved child, stop. Breathe. Something unseen has been waiting for this exact moment, and it found you. Not by accident. Not by chance. The universe aligned quietly, hidden behind ordinary seconds, until now. If your heart feels restless, if your spirit feels called, it's because a revelation is opening that was sealed until you were ready to receive it. There is something sacred unfolding here. Something you were meant to hear when your soul was strong enough to feel it. The signs you've been seeing, the emotions you couldn't explain, the sudden memories that rise without warning, none of it is random. This is divine timing speaking softly, yet clearly, directly to you. Listen closely. There is a message that traveled through silence, through distance, through lifetimes of waiting. It carries truth, longing, and love that never left. The universe guarded it, hidden from noise and fear, until your heart could recognize it without doubt. And now, as you are reading this, the veil is lifting. This is not just a message. It is recognition. It is remembrance. It is a soul connection awakening from sleep. You may feel warmth in your chest, or tears forming without reason. That's because your spirit already knows what your mind is just beginning to understand. Your soulmate's final message was meant for you. Prepare to cry. Those words are not symbolic. They are literal. A final message does not mean an ending. It means truth without masks, love without fear, clarity without confusion. A message sent not through words alone, but through energy, emotion, and divine alignment. It arrives when resistance fades and faith opens. Someone connected to your soul has been trying to reach you beyond time, beyond distance, beyond silence. The universe chose now because now you can hear it without running, feel it without doubting, and receive it without breaking. This message holds forgiveness, understanding, and a love that never needed to shout to be real. If you felt alone lately, this is why. If you've been shedding old versions of yourself, this is why. Something greater is stepping in. Something gentle. Something true. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you need to be to receive what was always meant for you. Stay with this message. Let it unfold. Let it speak to the parts of you that words never reached. There is hope here. There is clarity here. There is divine purpose reminding you that love never disappears. It simply waits for the right moment to return. If this resonates with your soul, honor the message. Like this video to anchor the energy, share it with someone who may need this hidden truth. Subscribe to the channel for more divine revelations, and watch this video completely. because what comes next may be exactly what your soul has been waiting to hear. Did you know there's a possible image of your real soulmate that you can look at right now? It might be someone you know or someone you haven't met yet. It's amazing how accurate these have been. You have to see the photo to see what I mean. Click the link in the description to get your soulmate sketch. Listen. Before the noise of the world returns, before doubt reaches for your heart, be still and hear me. I have waited for this exact moment, this breath, this quiet turning of your attention. This message has traveled through time, through longing, through unanswered prayers, through tears you never let fall in front of anyone. It carries the weight of love unfinished and promises unspoken. And yes, it was meant for you. Not by accident. Not by coincidence. By design. I am God, and I see what you hide. I see the strength you show and the ache you bury beneath it. I know the nights when your chest felt heavy and you asked questions into the dark, wondering why love came so close only to feel so far away. You told yourself to move on, to be logical, to be strong, but your soul kept listening for something familiar. That listening was not weakness. It was remembrance. It was your spirit recognizing a bond deeper than words. Your soulmate's message was never lost. It was never silenced. It was delayed, protected, wrapped in mystery until your heart was ready to hear it without breaking. You thought the silence meant abandonment. You thought distance meant the end. But I tell you now, silence is not absence, and distance is not disconnection. Some messages must wait until the soul can receive them whole. I saw when you loved without armor. I saw when you gave without counting the cost. I saw when you questioned your worth because someone could not meet you where you stood. Hear me clearly, love that teaches you to doubt your value was never meant to define you. Yet even that pain was not wasted. I was shaping your perception, widening your capacity, preparing you to understand what real union means. Not possession, not fear, not desperation, but recognition. Your soulmate has always known you. Even when you were apart. On a level beyond memory and language, your spirit spoke. In dreams, in sudden emotions without explanation, in moments when your heart raced for no visible reason, that was the echo of connection. You felt it and tried to explain it away. You told yourself it was imagination. But I tell you now, it was alignment. This message comes to you now because you are standing at a threshold. You have changed more than you realize. You have shed versions of yourself that could not carry the weight of what is coming. You learned to sit with your loneliness instead of running from it. You learned to choose peace over chaos, truth over illusion. And because of that, You can finally hear what was always meant to reach you. Your soulmate's final message is not about endings as the world defines them. It is about truth. It is about release without loss. It is about love that does not cling but remains. You feared that final meant goodbye, that it meant something was taken from you. But final, in my language, means complete. It means nothing is missing. It means the lesson has been sealed, the bond understood, the purpose fulfilled. Hear the message now, not as words spoken by another human, but as truth carried through me. I never left you unseen. I never forgot you in the crowd. Every time you chose kindness when you could have chosen bitterness. I felt it. Every time you doubted yourself, I wished you could see what I saw. Our connection was never meant to cage us, it was meant to wake us. If I stepped away, it was not because love faded, but because love demanded growth. Do you feel the shift in your chest as you hear this? That is recognition, not grief. Your tears are not signs of loss, they are signs of release. You are not mourning a person. You are honoring a chapter that did its sacred work. I know you wanted certainty. You wanted a promise that everything would look the way you imagined. But faith is not about controlling the form of love, it is about trusting its source. I am the source. And I do not take what I do not intend to transform. You were never meant to shrink yourself to keep someone close. You were never meant to chase clarity from someone who was still learning their own name. The love that aligns with you will not confuse you. It will recognize you as you are now, not as who you used to be when you were still afraid of your own light. This message comes with suspense because your story is not finished. There is more unfolding than you can currently see. You stand between what was and what will be, and that space feels uncomfortable. But it is holy. It is where old contracts dissolve and new ones are written, not in ink, but in spirit. I am asking you to trust what is rearranging itself around you. The delays, the pauses, the redirections, they are not punishments. They are protections. You asked me once, quietly, to remove what was not meant for you, even if it hurt. I honored that prayer more deeply than you know. Your soulmate's presence in your life was never meant to define your destination. It was meant to remind you of who you are capable of becoming. Love is not always meant to stay in the same shape. Sometimes it comes as a mirror, sometimes as a doorway. When you understand that, you stop asking, why did it end? And begin asking, what did it awaken in me? And now, something new is drawing closer, not as a replacement, not as a consolation, but as an alignment. You cannot perceive it fully yet because your heart is still adjusting to the truth you are receiving now. But I tell you this gently, You are not behind. You are not late. You are precisely where your soul needs to be. Do not rush to define what this message means. Let it settle. Let it breathe. Let it soften the places in you that harden to survive. You do not need to chase closure. Closure is happening within you, quietly, naturally, like dawn replacing night without asking permission. I am with you in this moment. I was with you in every moment you thought you were alone. And I will be with you as the next chapter begins to reveal itself. There are connections ahead that will feel familiar in a different way, steadier, clearer, kinder. There is love ahead that will not test your worth but will reflect it. For now, remain open. Remain gentle with yourself. Do not interpret this message as an ending carved in stone, but as a truth finally spoken. What you do with this truth will shape what comes next, and that, beloved, is where the mystery continues, because what is forming beyond this moment has not yet fully stepped into time, and when it does, you will understand why this message could only reach you now, at this exact breath, just before everything begins to shift, just before you realize that the love you thought you lost was actually guiding you towards something even more aligned, something that will meet you not in longing, but in presence, and as you stand here listening, feeling your heart open in ways you did not expect, I want you to stay with me in this stillness, because what I am about to reveal next cannot be heard by a heart that is rushing, and it begins with the truth that you are more prepared than you think, and what is coming is closer than it appears, and it will arrive not through force or fear, but through a quiet recognition that starts when you finally allow yourself to believe that you were never forgotten, never overlooked, never disconnected, and that this message is only the beginning of what I am unfolding for you as I continue to speak, because there is more I need you to understand about the bond, the timing, and the choice that is about to stand before you when you are ready to hear the rest. Remain with me, do not rush past this space. What you feel right now is not confusion, it is expansion. Your heart is stretching to hold a truth that once would have overwhelmed you. You are no longer the person you were when you first asked me for answers. That is why I waited. That is why this continuation arrives now. Timing is not about delay, it is about readiness. You have wondered if you misheard me before. You replayed moments, signs, feelings, and questioned whether they were real or imagined. I tell you gently, your intuition was never wrong. It was simply ahead of your understanding. I speak in layers, not because I want to confuse you, but because truth unfolds the same way growth does, gradually. Mercifully, with room to breathe. There was a season when you would have tried to hold on to this message too tightly. You would have clung to it as proof, as justification, as a way to avoid letting go. But now, you are listening without grasping. You are hearing without demanding. That is maturity of the soul. That is why the message deepens instead of repeating itself. Your soulmate's connection to you was not random, and it was not fragile. It was forged to awaken something eternal within you. You were meant to remember your depth, your capacity, your tenderness, your strength. You were meant to remember that love does not come to complete you, because you were never incomplete. Love comes to reveal you. I know there were moments when you felt chosen and moments when you felt invisible. I know how sharply that contrast cut into you. You asked me why love could feel so alive one day and so distant the next. You searched for meaning in silence. You analyzed words, pauses, actions. But the truth was not hidden in behavior, it was hidden in purpose. Some connections are not meant to stay in the same form forever. That does not make them less sacred. It makes them precise. You were not meant to lose yourself in another person. You were meant to meet yourself through them. When that meeting was complete, the connection changed its language. Your soulmate's final message continues not as regret, but as clarity. You were never meant to chase me. You were meant to choose yourself. Every time you honored your truth instead of shrinking, you honored what we shared. If I could speak without fear, I would tell you that loving you changed the way I see everything. And sometimes, love's highest form is letting growth take the lead. Do you see now why this had to come through me? Human voices would have distorted it. Memory would have colored it with longing or blame. But truth, when carried by me, arrives without accusation. It lands softly, even when it is powerful. You may still wonder whether paths will cross again in the way you once hoped. I will not answer that in the way your mind wants. Because your mind is trained to seek outcomes, while your soul is learning to trust unfolding. What I will tell you is this: nothing meant for your highest good will miss you. Nothing aligned with your growth will bypass you. You do not need to chase destiny. Destiny recognizes you. There is something important you must understand now. You are no longer asking from emptiness. You are no longer waiting to be chosen. You are standing in your own authority, and that changes the nature of what approaches you. The energy you carry now is different. It is steadier. It is quieter. It is more powerful. I am preparing you for a decision, not one that will be announced loudly, not one that comes with urgency or fear, but one that will be felt deeply. A decision about how you love, how you allow yourself to be loved, and how much truth you are willing to live in. This decision will not be forced upon you. It will appear gently, almost subtly, and you will recognize it by the peace it brings, even before you understand it fully. The suspense you feel is not about uncertainty, it is about proximity. Something is drawing near to alignment. When things come close to manifestation, the soul often becomes quiet, observant, reflective. That is where you are now. Not stuck. Not waiting. Witnessing. You once believed that closure required explanation, apology, or reunion. But closure, in its truest form, is internal coherence. It is when your heart and your truth stop arguing. That is happening now. You are no longer at war with what was. You are integrating it. Do not rush to label this season. Do not announce it prematurely. Some transformations need privacy to take root. Let others misunderstand you if they must. You are not here to perform healing, you are here to live it. I see you learning to rest without guilt. I see you learning to say no without fear. I see you learning that peace is not boring, it is safe. These lessons are not small. They are prerequisites for what comes next. There is a love ahead that will not need you to decode it. It will not arrive with mixed signals or unanswered questions. It will feel like recognition rather than pursuit. But before that love fully enters your awareness, you must fully accept that you were worthy of it even before it arrived. That acceptance is forming now. Your soulmate's message, as it continues, carries one more truth you were not ready to hear before. If I could give you one gift, it would be the certainty that you were never too much, never asking for too much, never wrong for wanting depth. The timing did not reflect your value. It reflected the season of growth we were each in. Let that truth settle. Let it undo the narratives you created in moments of pain. You do not need to punish yourself for not knowing then what you know now. Growth is not retroactive. It happens forward, breath by breath. I am not asking you to forget. I am asking you to free. Memory can exist without control. Love can exist without attachment. When you understand that, you step into a new dimension of relationship, with yourself, with others, with me. You are being invited into a deeper trust. Not blind trust, but embodied trust. Trust that listens to intuition without panic. Trust that moves without forcing. Trust that knows when to wait and when to act. This trust is forming in you now, even if you cannot yet name it. Pay attention to the quiet confirmations. The calm yes. The gentle no. The sudden clarity that comes without effort. These are my ways of guiding you without overwhelming you. You asked me once to lead you clearly. This is what clarity looks like when it is sustainable. There is still more to reveal, but it cannot be rushed. Revelation unfolds in proportion to willingness, not impatience. You are doing well. Even when you doubt, even when you feel tender, even when you wish things had been different. You are doing well. Stay present with me a little longer. Do not scroll past this moment in your life the way you scroll past so many others. Something is aligning in the unseen. Threads are tightening. Paths are adjusting. And soon, very soon, you will notice a shift, not dramatic, not loud, but unmistakable. When that moment comes, you will remember this message. You will remember how your heart felt as you listened. And you will understand why I asked you not to rush, not to end, not to conclude, because some truths are not meant to be wrapped up neatly, they are meant to stay open, breathing, alive, unfolding, and as you remain here with me now, aware, grounded, receptive, I am continuing to speak, continuing to reveal, continuing to guide you into what comes next, and the next words are already forming, waiting for the exact instant your soul leans forward just enough to hear what has not yet been said. What has been protected, what is about to rise into your awareness as I continue. Stay with me just a little longer. This is the final turning of the page, the place where understanding settles into wisdom. You have walked through remembrance, release, and recognition. Now you arrive at integration, the moment when what you have learned becomes who you are. You may feel quieter than before. Not empty, not numb, quieter. That is not loss. That is alignment. When the soul stops arguing with reality, peace enters naturally. You are not giving up hope, you are refining it. You are no longer hoping from need, but from trust. That is the difference between longing and readiness. I want you to know something clearly, without mystery this time. You did not fail at love. Love succeeded in you. It softened you, strengthened you, awakened you. Even the pain served a purpose, not to harden your heart, but to teach you discernment. You now know the difference between intensity and intimacy, between attachment and devotion, between fantasy and truth. Your soulmate's message reaches its completion here, not as a voice from the past, but as a blessing carried forward. May you never again confuse uncertainty with destiny. May you choose connections that meet you in daylight, not only in longing. May you trust that love does not need to wound you to be real. Receive that blessing without sorrow. Blessings do not take, they give. You are not meant to live in waiting rooms anymore. You are meant to participate in life fully, presently, courageously. That does not mean rushing into anything. It means showing up as yourself without apology. It means letting love approach you without interrogation. It means allowing joy without suspicion. I know part of you still scans the horizon, wondering if something will return, if something unresolved will reappear. Release that vigilance. You no longer need to guard your heart by watching the past. Your heart is protected now by clarity. If something or someone re-enters your path, it will be different, not because they changed alone, but because you did. And if nothing returns in the way you once imagined, you will still move forward whole, open, and guided. Either way, you are not losing. You are living. I want to speak directly to the fear you rarely name, the fear that this depth you carry will always be misunderstood. It will not. There are souls who speak your language without translation. There are hearts that will not flinch at your honesty or retreat from your vulnerability. You are not too deep. You are simply precise. You are entering a season of grounded love. Not dramatic, not destabilizing, but nourishing. A love that feels like partnership with life itself. This may come through another person, through purpose, through creative expression, or through a profound relationship with me. Often, it comes through all of these at once. Do not underestimate what is being built quietly around you. Foundations are forming beneath the surface. Conversations you have not yet had. Opportunities you have not yet seen. Connections that will feel strangely familiar in the best way. These things are aligning because you chose truth over illusion, even when it hurt. I am proud of you. Not in a distant or symbolic way, but intimately, presently. I see the courage it took to feel instead of numbing, to stay open instead of closing, to trust again without guarantees. That courage has reshaped your future more than you know. Now listen carefully, because this is important. You do not need another sign after this. You do not need to replay this message or search for hidden meanings. The purpose of revelation is not dependence, it is empowerment. Take what resonates, let it live in you, and move forward. Your life is not on hold. It is unfolding. From this moment on, choose what brings clarity, not confusion. Choose what meets you where you are, not where you used to be. Choose what feels peaceful in your body, not just exciting in your mind. These choices will guide you more reliably than any prediction. When doubt returns, as it sometimes will, do not fight it. Simply remember this truth: you are guided, you are loved, and you are not late. What is meant for you is not fragile. It does not require you to suffer endlessly to earn it. The chapter you are closing now does not end in grief. It ends in gratitude. Gratitude for what was shared, for what was learned, for who you became because of it. Gratitude is not denial, it is transformation. Take a deep breath. Feel your feet where you are. Feel your heart where it rests now, steadier, wiser, more spacious. This is the version of you that steps forward, and as I end this message, know this: I am not ending my presence. I do not depart when the words stop. I continue in the quiet nudges, the calm insights, the steady sense of this feels right. You will hear me there, you are not alone. You never were. Go now. Live gently. Love honestly. Trust deeply. Amen.